In this video, we will learn more about the Learning Path Builder. Adding a step. You can add more steps by clicking the Add Step button. New steps will always be added at the bottom of the learning path. However, you can drag them to the location that you want the step to be at. Adding content to a step. Each step needs to have a resource. You can add an existing resource from the course, the library, or from your computer. If you want to edit the contents of a resource, you can simply click on its name. Content limitations. Not all content can be added to a learning path. The following categories of content cannot be added. Resources that cannot be copied between courses, for an example, hangman game. Activities with at least one answer or assessment. Either remove the results from these activities or make a copy without results. Linear steps. By default, all steps will allow the students to move to the next step when the resource is completed. For notes, pages, files, and links, that means they can move on to the next step once they have opened and viewed the resource. For tests, assignments, and tasks, the student needs to complete the activity before they can move on. For activities that can be assessed, such as tests, assignments, and tasks, the teacher can point to a different step based on the results. Additional information on these assessment tools will be provided in the next couple of slides. Linear activities. Assignments. If submitted, the student can move to the next step when the answer is submitted. No teacher intervention needed. For the assignment, if selected completed, the teacher will have to review the work of the student before the student can move on. For task, once completed, the task can be completed by the teacher or the student. For the student to be able to complete the task, the option also allow participants to set completion needs to be enabled. For a test completed, the student can move on once they have completed the test. If the test contains open answers that require manual assessment by the teacher, the student cannot continue until the teacher has assessed those questions. Adaptive paths. It is possible to determine a different sequel based on the result of an assessment. This can be done for tests, assignments, and tasks by selecting student scores at least as a trigger. This opens up 3 additional fields: the minimum assessment or score to pass the assessment, which step the student should go to when they pass the test, which step the student should go to when they don't pass the test. This has several use cases for a remedial track, an exit ticket, or as a gatekeeper. Remedial track. Students that fail the assessment are offered additional resources, starting with the next step. Students that pass that assessment fast forward on the path. For an example, they can jump a step down further down the line. Exit ticket. When the student passes the assessment, they are directly taken to the finish of the path. Gatekeeper. The student cannot move on to the next step unless they pass the assessment. This can, for an example, mean they can retake the test. Completing the path. All changes are saved automatically. When you're done designing your learning path and all steps have a resource, click the Complete button. Making it visible. For students to see and start the learning path, it still needs to be made visible. You can change the visibility with a toggle. As long as no student has started on the learning path, you will be able to make changes. To do so, click the Edit Path button. Since students shouldn't start the path while it is being edited, the visibility will also be changed from clicking this button. Don't forget to make it visible again once you're done making changes. Up next, you will have a chance to practice making learning paths.